At the end of 2018, we looked at every Premier League club's biggest worry going into 2019, mainly looking at the transfer window and the end of the season. Well, now that almost 5 months have passed, let's see if each team's biggest worry has come true. Arsenal not finishing in the top 4. Well, that came true, but the Gunners' Champions League hopes aren't over yet. They've got the Europa League final on Wednesday, I think, and if they beat Chelsea, they'll once again be dining at the elite table of European football. If not, it'll be Thursday night football once again at the Emirates. They came close to finishing in the top 4 in fairness, and I think you've got to say it's been a good first season under Unai Emery. Bournemouth losing Callum Wilson. Well, the England international didn't leave in January despite reported interest from Chelsea, and he finished the season with 14 league goals, his best ever Premier League tally. No doubt they'll be interested in him once again, so can Bournemouth keep a hold of their top striker for another season? Brighton standing still. At the end of 2018, Brighton were sitting pretty. They looked safe, with a few wins here and there set to be enough to see them survive comfortably. But their form fell off a cliff and they narrowly avoided the drop down to the Championship, which ended with Chris Hughton losing his job despite survival. So in fact, they did worse than stand still, they went backwards. Burnley going down. Getting relegated was the worry for Burnley going into 2019, and in they survived with relative ease, much to the delight of Sean Dyche, who's probably buzzing that he doesn't have to navigate the Europa League this summer yet again. Cardiff going down. Yeah, this one came true. Cardiff kind of went down, and you kind of have to feel a bit sorry for them. Everything seemed to go against Neil Warnock's side, yet they were still just one win away from survival. Chelsea losing Eden Hazard. It didn't happen in January, but surely it's going to happen this summer. The talk of the Belgian going to Real Madrid is relentless, and the Spanish side really need a big name to fill the Cristiano Ronaldo-shaped void at the Bernabeu. Even with Chelsea's transfer ban, it's hard to see Hazard staying at Stamford Bridge. Crystal Palace going down and losing Wilfried Zaha. Okay, so the Eagles didn't go down, in fact they were pretty good from January onwards and actually became half decent to watch, but they're not fully out of the woods yet. Wilfried Zaha has said he wants to leave the club this summer, but just where will he go? It's obvious he's a class above at Selhurst Park, but which big club will splash out in the Palace talisman? Everton not challenging for the top 6. Yeah, this didn't happen, with the Toffees getting nowhere near to cracking the elusive top 6. They weren't expected to break it, but they should have been closer. But alas, Marko Silva's side finished 12 points behind 6th place Manchester United, having to settle for a 9th place finish below Leicester and Wolves. That middle part of the Premier League are only getting better, making the race for the best of the rest even more competitive. Fulham, Claudio Ranieri not turning things round. He didn't even come close, and by the end of the season he wasn't even at the club anymore. The Tinkerman was unable to get a tune out of Fulham and move them away from the bottom 3, and if anything things got worse. He left to be replaced by Scott Parker, with the Italian somehow getting the manager's job at Roma shortly after his Fulham exit. Huddersfield Town going down. Not only did they go down, they were rock bottom at just 16 points. Their Premier League dream is over for now, but surely they'll have a decent crack at coming straight back up, having already signed the likes of Carl and Grant in January with a view to playing in the second tier. Leicester City replacing Jamie Vardy. The Foxes didn't have too much to worry about going into 2019, and the need to replace Jamie Vardy wasn't that desperate, with the forward scoring 18 Premier League goals, the most for an Englishman this season. Age isn't on his side, but Vardy is showing no signs of slowing down in the Premier League. But should the Foxes add some competition for Vardy this summer? Liverpool the title race. The Reds were able to keep pace throughout the season, going toe-to-toe with Manchester City until the final day, with Jurgen Klopp's men finishing just 1 point behind City. They ended the campaign with a whopping 97 points, which would win you the title most years, but it wasn't to be this year for Liverpool. Manchester City struggling in the Champions League. And struggle they did. Once again City were knocked out of the quarter-finals, dramatically losing to Tottenham after VAR ruled out a late Raheem Sterling goal that looked like it sent them to the semis. For all their dominance, the Champions League still eludes Manchester City, and no doubt Pep will be even more desperate next season to win it, providing they aren't actually banned of course, although I don't think that can happen until the season after. Manchester United not improving under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And to think it all started so well. The Red Devils looked back to their best when Ole arrived, but things have gone very south since then. Their form fell off a cliff towards the end of the season, with Ole's at the wheel memes aplenty amusing anyone that wasn't a Man United fan. This is a huge summer for Manchester United, and particularly Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They have to get it right, otherwise they'll continue to go backwards. Newcastle United, no takeover. There was no takeover, and Newcastle is still owned by Mike Ashley, much to the annoyance of every Toon fan around. The rumours continue to persist, but as things stand the Sports Direct man is going nowhere. Southampton not improving under Ralph Hasenhutttl. Things weren't too rosy to begin with when HASENHUTTL came in, but things have started to improve towards the end of the season for the Saints, who once again were able to avoid relegation. HASENHUTTL is an interesting manager, and things should certainly be a bit more positive for Southampton next season after he's had a full pre-season to work with his team. Tottenham never playing in their new stadium. For a while it looked like it was never going to happen, but on the 3rd of April, Tottenham finally played at their new ground, beating Crystal Palace 2-0. It's been a great start of life in their new sexy stadium for Spurs, with their only defeats coming against West Ham and Ajax. They'll be looking to make it a fortress next season. Watford doing a Watford. Amazingly, Watford did not do a Watford. They finished the season in 11th, which is maybe a bit lower than they should have expected after such a strong start, but they also managed to reach the FA Cup final. Sadly they were smashed 6-0 by Manchester City at Wembley, which I imagine was an awful watch for Hornets fans. West Ham losing MARKO ARNAUTOVIC. In January this looked like a real possibility, with talks of a lucrative move to China turning the Austrian's head. Well, he didn't go, but he hardly got back to his best anyway, and West Ham showed they don't actually need him, so it won't be a surprise if Arnie leaves the club this summer after downing tools earlier in the year. And finally Wolves losing Ruben Neves. Touch wood, Wolves fans, Ruben Neves doesn't look like he's eyeing up a move away from Molyneux this summer after an excellent first season in the Premier League. With Wolves finishing in 7th, Neves will get the chance to play European football again in the Europa League. Wolves need to keep climbing the table though if they want to keep players like Neves at the club. So we've looked back at every Premier League club's biggest worry for 2019, and sadly quite a few came true. Let us know what you reckon in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.